You may remember the KJ drama from a whole year ago, where TSB promised to give us the KJ character for winning the Innovation Awards. Well, long story short, they ended up winning 2 different categories and released KJ after a few months. However, most people have forgotten something very important that was promised along with that. Right here in this deleted message, the same message that caused all the drama about bribing players, the same message that made them win the Innovation Awards, is them saying that they'll start the development on the Boros moveset. Well, over a whole year later, we didn't get a single update or even a sneak peek about the character. So, for this video, I will be making the Boros character by myself. Now, you're probably thinking I'll just use the skill builder in TSB, or maybe even Moon Animator to make the moves. Well, no. I'm doing something much harder than that. Something that will take me hundreds of hours to complete. I'm making an entirely new battlegrounds game using Roblox Studio that has a working combat system, awakening, ultimate moves, and a map. I went through hell to make this, which I'll explain later on in this video, so I really hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. For the M1s, I used TSB's animations as a reference. Since starting out, my animation skills weren't nearly as good as compared to after working on the game. And to make a single mechanic in this game, I have to animate the thing for the user, then for the opponent, then script it, and then add VFX, which is why this video took so long. And after a few hours of coding, this is how the M1s look. I also made the dashing mechanic. Took me a few hours to finish, but after that I made a quick little placeholder map. Now that I've finished those, I can start work on the actual moves. I'll be making 3 different base moves. The first one is this long-range laser. The laser is based on Boros' energy propulsion ability, which allows him to form lasers. The animation for it is based on the plasma cannon move from TSB, which is the last reference I'll be using. Boros' main theme is purple, which is why most moves will also have purple effects. The base moves won't be that flashy since that's reserved for the ultimate moves, but I've decided to make this move do 40 damage since the hitbox is really small. And after a few hours, this is how the first move turns out. The next move is called Energy Dash, and it's based off of this scene here. I had to rework the animation of this move many times because the animations kept turning out like this.
Hello, Moto.
But by the end, I was able to make it look like an actual move, and this is how it turned out. Do keep in mind the ultimate moves are going to be much higher quality than these ones, so make sure to stick around. The final base move is based on this, just simple punching, so nothing really much going on here. I forgot to tell, but I'll be making 3 base and 3 ultimate moves since I really didn't have a lot of time to make this. In case you didn't know, Boros is a character from One Punch Man. He came searching for a worthy opponent and found Saitama, where in his battle with him he died. Boros is an alien with powers like energy propulsion, regeneration, and extreme strength. He was one of the only characters to survive getting punched by Saitama at full strength. He only appeared in 1 episode, but became one of the most interesting and remembered characters in the series. Anyways, this is what the beatdown move looks like. If it seems a little underwhelming, don't worry, since we'll be moving on to the ultimate stuff now. Next, I'll be working on an ultimate animation. Boros actually awakens twice in the anime. Here, I'll be making an ultimate animation based on the first time. This is how it looks in the anime. And this is how it looks in the game. I probably could have done better, but I decided to use the extra time for the ultimate moves. This first ultimate move is based on these giant lasers that Boros shoots in the anime. Keep that scene in mind for later when I show you my own version. But anyways, to get the laser looking like the one in the anime, it took me quite a while and a lot of model changes. First one that I made looked like this, and I had no idea how to animate it. I decided to go for something simpler and this might have been a little too simple. After that, I created this, and I did like how this model looked, but it just wasn't similar enough to that laser in the anime. So I was honestly stumped on what to do for this, until I came across something very important for the final model. This is a beam I found from a free VFX pack. You might be wondering what this has to do with the giant laser. Well, after changing its color, tweaking some settings and making it just a little bigger, we get this. And after turning that into a 3D model, we get something that actually resembles the laser in the anime. So after coding a lot of VFX, and also making the smaller part of the laser, the first ultimate move is done. The development was going all right by this point. Surely there won't be a certain way that some events unfold that make my life miserable. You see, since I started making this game, I've been abroad in another country. The country I'm in has extremely frequent power outages and Wi-Fi disconnections. If either one happens, I can lose hours of work, even if I've saved the game. For example, see this animation? This is what would happen to it if I lost connection and then came back later.
Adrian.
Little did I know, this was just a small part of what I had to go through to make this game. Since I was in a different environment in a new country, I was basically sick for the whole period I was there. Not to the point where I couldn't make the game, but it still slowed me down a little. Around 2 weeks into this project, I checked my YouTube stats to see my video that I worked over a month on got copyrighted. I decided that it is what it is and kept working on the game. A few hours later, I lose a whole ultimate animation because of that bug I showed. Again, nothing really I can do about that, so I had to keep going to get this video released. And on that same day, my PC broke. Since I was in a different country, I couldn't even get my PC fixed, and this was disastrous for me, since the YouTube algorithm works in a way where if you don't upload frequently, you might lose your audience. And I was very quickly reaching my deadline. And I've gone through that before, and may or may not have PTSD from it. So this is where I am. PC broken, can't work on my game, sick, stressed about YouTube and some other IRL stuff which I'd rather not get into. And the game was still a buggy mess by this point, and I honestly didn't know what to do. Dude, what are you even doing? Your last video got almost 1 million views, and now you're thinking of quitting? Look, your flight back home is in 3 days. You can get your PC fixed there. It doesn't matter what the YouTube algorithm thinks. You just need to focus on making the best possible video. Doesn't matter if it takes a month or a year. Keep going. I did what I could on my sister's laptop for the 3 days, and now was finally on my way back home. I could finally work at full speed since my sickness faded away pretty fast, my computer got fixed, and actually had stable connection, and I was more determined than ever. The animation itself took like 3 hours to make, and it's not the best animation, but with VFX, I can completely transform it. This move had like 30 plus parts that I had to script for VFX, and probably has more VFX than all the other moves combined. And I also made the part where the opponent gets kicked to the moon, that's if they end up surviving. This is what the animation looks like. After coding everything in the move, which took me a couple of days, the move was ready. Here it is. The final ultimate move is basically just a really overpowered version of Energy Dash. There's a few different scenes that this move is inspired from instead of just one, and I don't want to bore you too much with the process since I think this move could have turned out a little better, but here it is. That'll be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. And if you want more, don't forget to like and subscribe.